Hi everyone, I'm Nathan with the eBookreader.com. For this video, I'm going to give you guys a review of the Kobo Aura H2O. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the hardware first. Of course, it is waterproof. It's got this new design. It's just like the Aura HD from the screen standpoint. We got a newer, updated screen on this model though, and we've got a totally new design. I really like the new design. The last one had sort of like a wavy pattern on the back and it was really thick. This one is a lot more streamlined. It's got this soft textured coating on it instead of the slick plastic exterior on the Aura HD. So I really do like the updates to the hardware. It feels really nice. The screen looks gorgeous. It really looks good with book covers like this. You can see really good amount of depth on the e-ink screen. So we've got a power button on top, so they don't have a hardware button for the light anymore. So you do all that software. You can turn it on and off with the software. And then down here there's this little flip cover. Since this thing's waterproof, it's got to be closed in right there for the ports, for the micro USB port, the micro SD card slot. Okay, so I'm going to power this Aura H2O up, and this is the look at the home screen. So as far as the software is concerned, it's very similar. It's pretty much identical to the other Kobo e-readers. They all have the same sort of unified software across these devices. So if you're already familiar with the Kobo software, then this is going to look very familiar. We've got the home screen here, and then you got your different sections for like the book list, and you got your news and magazine section, previews. You can also create collections, and then there's articles from Pocket. So this thing integrates with Pocket on the web. You can send web articles to this device. And I'll do a separate review for that because I actually haven't tried it out like ever. So let me go ahead and talk about some of the reading features and the front light. So let's load up a book here and I'll talk to you about the reading features. One cool thing about the front light on this firmware, the newer firmware with these guys, is you can adjust it just by going across the edge right here. So that is all the way off right there. And then you can just turn it back on. Let's go ahead and turn it all the way up. It takes a second for the screen or for the camera to adjust. So I really like the screen on the Aura H2O here. It's really nice and clear. It's got the updated Carta screen from the Aura HD. It had the regular Pearl screen, so it has the same resolution, but it has the newer version of the e-ink screens. I kind of think it has a little bit more of a slightly creamy color to the screen than the older screens. And the front light, it seems to be just a little bit yellower, so you can't really tell at all with the light on here. But when you have the lights off, it seems to have a little more of a yellow tone than a white tone like the Aura HD did. But one thing I really like is that the lighting is really uniform. There's not like any kind of blotchiness or different colors. I remember on my Aura HD, like the upper half was slightly yellower than the bottom half. So that was kind of just one of the things with the front light. But this front light, I know they kind of vary a lot from unit to unit, but this one, it's very even. Looks very nice and clear. I really do like the front light as far as that goes. So like I said, you can adjust it by going along the edge there, and you can also just come in here to the menu and adjust it right there. As you can see, we're set at 22% right now. Okay, so this is how the ebooks lay out with the Kobo devices. When I got the Aura H2O, I couldn't help but be a little disappointed because it's exactly the same that's always been. You got this wasted space down here, and the wasted space up here. Luckily, I came across this trick on Mobile Read where you can actually change that. So we go into reading settings right here. So there's this little trick that you can do. It's on my website, and then once you do that, you get the option to show, and you can turn the headers on and off right there. So when you turn it off, you get nice full screen view. I really like it. So just that one setting alone really makes me like the Aura H2 a lot better. I don't know, I just really didn't like that footer and the header on Kobo e-readers, and now that you can get rid of it, it looks way better. Works with the side-loaded EPUBs as well. So like side-loaded EPUBs used to have a big space at the bottom for the just to tell you what page number you were on. Didn't have the top header, but now they got, with that setting right there, you can just get full screen text here. So it definitely looks a lot better in my opinion without that big old huge chunk at the bottom. So I really do like that feature and that setting that can be enabled. I guess it's probably going to become an official feature sooner or later if they have it set up in the settings menu there. So let me go ahead and talk to you about the ebook settings for EPUBs and Kobo EPUBs. So Kobo has their own format they do with the ebooks. They change it to Kobo EPUB. So you can sideload EPUBs on here. Like I said, the device supports MOBI and PRC and like text and PDF as well. But the MOBI and PRC support is really bad. I don't know how they even consider it, calling it supported for MOBI and PRC. So like that's a PRC I'm not going to show you because it'd just be a waste of time. Best option is to just convert it to EPUB and then set it up with this device that way, because EPUB works a lot better. So let me go ahead and talk to you about the reading features for Kobo ebooks. When you have a Kobo ebook and a regular EPUB ebook, there is a couple of different features. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. So when you tap on the screen here, we get the different settings down here. We can jump into, one cool thing about Kobo ebooks, it's not available on the side-loaded EPUBs. With Kobo ebooks, you get this little dial right here that tells you how much time you got left in the chapter, tells you how much time, it's going to estimate how much time you got to read in the book. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, and I like how it gives you this visual representation of the paragraphs right there, or of the chapters right there, how long they are, so you can get an idea of how much you got left in the book and how long the chapters are for like the upcoming chapters. I do like that feature. It's better than the Kobo or the Kindles just because you get some extra information here. And then we also have Beyond the Book with Kobo ebooks. They give you some additional information about the author and about like terms in the book. So basically all it does is it references Wikipedia, and it can open it up into this separate window here. So it talks about these different terms. So we got Charles Dickens, because that's the author here, and shows some different stuff that appears in the book. So then once we go ahead and tap on one of these, it'll open up this separate window with entry from Wikipedia. You can actually get the view more right here to go to Wikipedia, and then like right there it shows you the different books available from the author and some additional information about the author. So this just opens sort of the web browser inside of the actual ebook instead of closing the book and going to a different section. So once we close out of this, we'll just be right back at the book again, and I'll go ahead and show you the web browser a little bit later. Let's go ahead and go through these reading features right here. Okay, so yeah, right there you hit the menu and you get your option for the brightness, shows your battery. You can jump to the settings from there as well. So if we tap down here, there's another little menu icon, and it shows you your annotations list. You can run searches and change the dictionary. Of course, if you highlight on a word, that'll open up the dictionary as well. So you can just run, type in searches manually, or like I said, if you type on or hold down on a word, we'll bring up the dictionary as well. And then you've got the different options for dictionaries on Kobo e-readers. Got these preloaded ones right here, these French to English and German to English and stuff like that. So we've got the usual notes and highlights as well. One thing I will say about adding highlights is I don't find it to be as smooth as like the Kindle. So if we go ahead and hold down on a word here, and then it brings up these little icons right here, and we can sort of move them around. As you can see, it's not real smooth though. Whenever I try to end it on the paragraph, there we go, it usually goes over or under. There we go, I got it just right that time. So then you can add a highlight, or you can add text notes to that as well. There is no easy way to export this. There's some like Calibre plugins, so it's not quite as easy to export as some other devices. And you've also got the sharing and searching option right there, and like I said, you can add text notes as well just by opening up this window here. Okay, then so like I said, those notes are accessible from your annotations list right here. You can see everything we've added, and you can hold down to view them and edit them, show the place in the book. So that's how the annotation features work on the Kobo e-readers. As far as the font adjusting options go, that's what's cool about Kobo, is we got a lot of options for fonts. And one of the cooler things is that you can sideload your own fonts. As you can see, I got my own sideloaded font on here right now. Kobo also offers a whole ton of different settings, or font settings here. So let's just pop open one of the Kobo fonts. Okay, so we can fine tune the fonts here. I noticed that they changed this. It used to have a weight and sharpness setting, but now we just got the weight setting right here. We can get the text nice and dark. As you can see, you've got a window right here and a window right here, and you can see how much darker it is. I don't know how it's going to show up on the camera, but then once we hit apply, we can get bolder text, though it does make it look a little bit rougher, so you kind of fine tune the exact setting you want it on. And of course, Kobo, they've got a whole ton of font sizes. I think there's like 24 font sizes. And then you get your line spacing options as well. So with the higher resolution screen, smaller text does look really sharp and clear. So we can adjust line spacing like I said. Got the margin settings as well. So Kobo does give you a lot of text adjustment settings for the Kobo ebooks. When you're using side-loaded ebooks, I've noticed that line spacing almost never works, but margins and font sizes work. And then we've also got the justification up here. You can, if you don't like the weird spaces that having fully justified text makes, you can go with the left justification, and you get a little more of the rough edge over here, but then the font's all evenly spaced. So it just sort of depends on your preference with that. That's one cool thing about Kobo, is just all the different font adjustment options. And like I said, being able to load your own fonts in is a definite plus that you don't get on the Kindle. It's really annoying about the Kindle is you can't load your own fonts at all. So that's definitely a huge plus for me as far as reading on the Kobo goes. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other features here. As far as the reading features go, we can jump in to right here. This is your little dial where you can jump through pages. If you just want to go one page, we just hit this button, and if you want to jump to the next chapter, you hit this button. So that's like the chapter jump, the double arrow, and then we've got the table of contents right here as well. So that's how we navigate on the Kobo e-readers. Okay, so this is how a Kobo ebook looks. I was showing you about it. Let me talk about a side-loaded EPUB really quick. Like I said, you can just go ahead and side-load any EPUBs on here. It works really well with Calibre if you fine-tune some of the adjustments, but right now this one was just set up how it has by default. As you notice, one thing I noticed about this is it uses a different rendering engine, and it makes the font look a lot different. Even though I'm using that exact same font that you were just seeing in that other book, for whatever reason the engine for this side-loaded EPUBs, the Adobe Reader, it renders text totally different. I mean, it doesn't look at all like that other one. And what I was saying here with a lot of side-loaded EPUBs, pretty much all side-loaded EPUBs, for some reason that I try, the line spacing is not adjustable. That's something I guess that you have to fine-tune with Calibre before loading it into the device. Because yeah, on device you can't get any of the line spacing to adjust, and it's just a little bit too tight for my liking. But the margins do work, of course. You can adjust margins if you want like really huge margins or small margins. You got that option. And then we can also go in, of course, and adjust font size. So yeah, you got all the usual settings for that with the fonts and everything. You just don't have, with side-loaded EPUBs, as you see down here, you don't have that little icon for the reading stats. So you don't have the little estimated timer, and you don't have that beyond the book feature with the additional information. So those are like the Kobo ebook exclusive features. So as far as side-loaded books go, they don't have that. But you do get all the other normal features, you know, the highlighting and the notes and the dictionary lookup. So I mean, the only difference really is just the reading stats timer and the beyond the book, and just how it renders. As you can see, it's just a little bit different how it renders the text. Definitely a lot bolder than it was on the Kobo book with the same exact font. So as you see here on the home screen, they lay everything out with tiles. You can actually dismiss these tiles if you don't want to see a certain one. You can dismiss it, and it adds everything on here, not just ebooks. So it's kind of cool. If you've been using the web browser, it accesses or puts a little link to the web browser right there, and as you can see, it tells you how many notes and highlights you've added to each device, how far along you're in the book, how much time is left. So like I said, with the web browser, we got a couple of beta features up here in the settings menu. We've got a couple of games. There's a sketch pad, so let's go ahead and just show you a couple of these things real fast. The sketch pad, you can just write on the screen. That's not the greatest handwriting, but then you can save it, and what it does is it saves it as an image, as a ping file, and it will show up on the home screen. You can get rid of it. You can either delete it or just add it to, or export it. So that's the little notepad feature. A couple of the other things like I mentioned up there, you got the games, and then there's the web browser. So let me go ahead and just show you the web browser really quickly. So one thing I noticed about the web browser is it kind of flashes excessively, but once you get scrolling going like this, it's really quite smooth. Let me go ahead and open up a page here. We got this little zoom dial down here. So this device, it has an infrared touchscreen, and those do support multi-touch, but for some reason Kobo never enables multi-touch on their infrared touchscreen e-readers. As far as the web browser goes, yeah, I mean, you just got the regular zooming option down here, and then we've just got the option to open the keyboard, to go home, and then you can set pages as favorites and set page as home, the home page for when you open the web browser. So yeah, as far as features go, I mean, you're not going to be able to open different tabs or anything. It's just more of a basic reading type web browser, and it does work kind of good as far as rendering the text readable, but I mean, it doesn't make it so that it does a lot of flashing. As you can see, that's just sort of how e-ink web browsers work. They're not real user friendly. You're a lot better off just sort of like using a different device for web browsing, but you can use this for basic web browsing. You can get stuff. You can use it like to access Dropbox to download some ebooks if you want to do it wirelessly instead of using a USB cable. Okay, so over in the library view, there's a couple of different display options. You got the usual cover view. I like this list view because it gives you the additional information, tells you what format you got right there, and then the reading progress. So we can also just switch over to manual cover view right there, where you just get the covers. You can hit the download all, and then in the library settings you just got the management options here for like your book management. You can turn on and off thumbnails. Okay, so I think I've covered all the main features on the Kobo Aura H2O. Go ahead and check out the ebookreader.com. I'll have a written review posted, and I'll also post some separate secondary reviews. Like I'll do a PDF review. I know people always want to know how PDFs handle on these devices, so I'll do a separate one for that. I'll also do some comparison reviews between some Kindles. So if you want some more information, check those out. And thank you for watching. You folks have a nice day.